Hello there, fellow card makers. I wanted to show you my spring cards, the focal point of which is this lovely wisteria branch, and this is from the January 2022 Hero Arts My Monthly Hero Kit. And this is the sole reason that I bought the kit. I'm not a kit person. I do have maybe a half dozen or so kits because there just usually isn't enough in there that I like. This kit, however, I really liked it, especially because of this. So these are the cards that I've made. This is a fun fold card, and I'm going to give a link where I got the instructions for this particular kind of fun fold card. And then really quickly I'm just going to show you how I did the background and assemble everything. So I'm using, again, the January 2022 Hero Arts My Monthly Hero Kit, and then I'm going to be supplementing with some My Favorite Things stencils and inks from Altenew and just some papers that I have in my stash. So this is my card base for the Fun Fold card. I'm going to post a link to the video by Jackie Bolhuis, I think is how she says her name. And you can get all of the measurements and stuff there, but basically this is an 8.5/11 sheet of paper cut in half, scored at 5.5 with 3 inches trimmed off. So I'm going to do this piece first. That is my little background with, that's the hill and the clouds and the stone path, that 3-inch piece that goes on the front. So first I have my stencil, and this is the Drifts and Hills stencil for My Favorite Things. And I'm just going to take some green ink. This, I don't know what ink is on here. I never clean my blending brushes, but after I heavily ink something for bold color, I leave it on so next time I have a nice soft color. So that's what I'm going to be using here, just some residual ink from whatever green ink pad I used last time with this brush. I'm just going to take my stencil and place it on my paper and just put in a little bit of color. Alright, that looks good. And then I'm going to do my clouds. And for that, I'm going to use the My Favorite Things mini, what's it called? Mini Cloud Edges stencil. So I have my blue blender brush here, again, just residual ink from whatever blue ink pad I used last time. And I'm just going to come in here and put down a little bit of blue ink first and get it as close to my hill as I can, just so I don't have like a white line between the hillside and the sky. And that works. I'm just going to take my stencil and add a few clouds. And how about this side? Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to use some green ink from the Altenew Green Valley Cube set, and I'm going to use the I probably can't see that. This is the grass stamp from the Hero Arts stamp set. I'm just going to take the lightest color of ink from this set, which is Firefly, and put in, oh wait, first, before I put my grass in, I want to put on my little, my stone path. Okay, so for that, the stone path, I'm actually going to use my Morning Mist VersaFine Clair ink. I think for me it looks better to have the path on first with the grass over it around the edges a little bit. But you can do yours any way you want. Let's see, I think the path is going to go right there. Perfect. And now I'm going to put my grass in. Okay, so again, the lightest green from that cube set, Firefly. Just going to put a couple tufts here and there. And the next color, which is Grass Field. And then Shadow Creek. And I think a few patches of grass using the Mountain Pine Green, which is the darkest color. Alright, that'll do it. Whoops. I'm just dropping everything today. Alright, so that's going to do it for the grass. Now I'm just going to set this aside while I work on the other part, which is going to be the wisteria branch. So we have these these two large stamps and then the branch. I'm actually going to use my positioning tool for this. So just in case I have to re-stamp something, this will make it easy. I'm going to take the stamp with the least detail and stamp that one first. And I'm going to use the Altenew Enchanted Garden cube stamps for this, and I'm going to stamp first with the second darkest purple, hydrangea. And I'm not going to worry if this comes out a little spotty or not exactly crisp, because I'm going to be going over it with another stamp, and it's kind of going to all blend together and it's going to look okay. So there we go. So on top of that, I'm going to stamp with the other image. I'm going to just line that up. I'm going to use ultraviolet for this layer. Ooh, so pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to use the darkest color, which is Andromeda. And I'm not going to completely cover the stamp with this darker purple. I just want to get a little bit here and there, just to add a little bit of depth. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to add the branch. So I'm going to take the stamp with the least amount of detail and put that right on there. Line that up. And for the branch, I'm going to use Coffee Break ink cubes. And I'm going to stamp my first layer in Rocky Shore. And last, I'm going to add the details for the branch. Line that up. For the detail layer, I'm going to use the espresso brown. Okay. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut that out using the coordinating die from the kit. Okay, so there is the main attraction of the card. Alright, now I need to cut a piece of paper or a panel for this part of the card, my front flap. Just going to use some purple paper from my stash. And for that front panel, I need that to be 4 by 2 1/4, according to Jackie's instructions. So since I'm using white cardstock, I think I'm just going to leave this one, the inside, blank. On the other cards that I did, I put a coordinating piece of paper on the inside that was just slightly smaller. But this, I think I'm just going to leave this one plain. So now I need to put the panel on. And when you're doing this, it's going to go on your card like this. So when you're putting your adhesive, you want to make sure that you're on the right or the right edge of this strip or this panel. Otherwise you're going to have adhesive over here and it will stick down to your card, and you definitely don't want that. So make sure that your adhesive for the front flap is going on the right edge of the paper. Okay, I'm just going to make note of where my adhesive strip is on there so I can make sure that nothing is hanging over. Just stick to the inside of the card. Press that down. And then for my branch, I'm going to use something, if I can find it. Oh, I'm going to use some foam squares. And for these little areas that are too small for the entire foam square, I'm just going to cut these in half. I'm going to cut them while they're still on the backing paper so they don't stick to my scissors. And I can just peel off that half and just pop that right into that smaller space. Probably don't need quite this many pieces of foam, but just want to make sure that it's not going to get squished in the mail. Alright, so that's done. Peel off the backing and then just stick that down right there. Looks good. And I think I'm gonna, I know I said I was gonna leave the inside blank, but I think I'm just gonna add a piece of paper to the inside as well. I have my panel for the inside, which is just a little smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that paper is from the Paper Boutique, by the way. So I'm just gonna put some double-sided tape on this. Okay, and then put that right down. Alright, yeah, that looks better. Glad I did that. Okay, and then last step, fold flap. There we go. Love this. Currently my most favorite stamp.